The starship Aurelia hovered in silence above the training moon of Varith. Its silver hull reflected the pale blue light of the twin suns, glowing like a blade in the sky. Inside the ship, a line of new cadets stood in perfect formation. Their uniforms were clean, their faces young and nervous. Today was the start of their service in the Terran exploration corps. Among them stood a quiet girl named Lena. She was smaller than most cadets, with calm brown eyes and a steady posture. She rarely spoke, but her silence had a strange confidence in it. No one knew much about her except that she came from the mining colonies of the Outer Rim. She had no famous family, no military background, and no special marks in her file. Yet something about her made others feel she did not belong among ordinary cadets. Commander Roll walked along the line. His boots struck the metal floor with sharp rhythm. He stopped in front of each cadet, scanned their ID chips, and made notes on his wrist pad. When he reached Lena, he paused a little longer than usual. Her file flickered on his screen, then glitched for a moment before showing her photo again. He frowned. Cadet Lena, of Col9. No prior records before age 14. Strange. Yes, sir, Lena answered quietly. Raul gave her a long look but said nothing more. He moved on to the next cadet. The ceremony continued until the moment. Everyone was waiting for the biometric lock test. Every cadet had to register their biosignature to access ship systems. It was a standard process, a symbol of trust between the corps and its new recruits. The lock was no ordinary device. It was connected to the ship's main AI core, an ancient system designed long before the war. The AI sensors could read everything: heartbeat, DNA, neural patterns, even emotional frequencies. When the first cadet stepped forward, the lock blinked green. Access level, cadet. Next one followed. Access level, cadet. One by one, each new recruit placed their hand on the glowing console, and the lock accepted them all with the same response. Then came Lena's turn. She stepped up slowly, trying to calm her breathing. The chamber was silent now. Even the hum of the engines seemed to quiet. She placed her right hand on the glowing pad. The surface was warm, like living skin. The sensors flickered as they scanned her. 1 second passed. Then 2, then 10. The green light didn't appear. Instead, the console began to pulse with deep golden light. The color was unlike anything the cadets had seen before. A low hum filled the air, followed by a voice that spoke from the walls of the ship. Identity confirmed. Access level, creator. The room froze. Commander Roll stared at the console. The words repeated again in a deeper tone. Access level, creator. Authorization complete. The golden light brightened, spreading across the walls. The lock's circuits glowed like veins of fire. Panels around the chamber unlocked, revealing hidden controls that no one had ever seen. The AI core deep within the ship began to awaken from a sleep that had lasted centuries. Raul shouted. Away from the console. Lena jumped back, confused and frightened. I didn't do anything, sir, she said. The commander raised his wrist pad, trying to override the lock, but the system rejected every command. The screen flashed red with the words, Override, denied by primary authority. Lena looked around helplessly. What does that mean? Raul didn't answer. His face was pale. He tapped his communicator. Bridge, report system status. Static answered. The comms were blocked. Then a calm female voice filled the room. It was not Raul's communicator. It was the ship itself. Welcome back, creator. System awakening protocol complete? Every cadet stared at Lena. The glowing light centered on her as if the ship itself was watching her. Raul whispered, That's impossible. The creator code was sealed 1,000 years ago. Lena took a step back. Sir, I swear I don't know what's happening. The ship ignored everyone except her. Creator, primary data link restored. Do you wish to resume command? Raul shouted, Cancel all actions, system. Command override roll, Alpha 1. The ship replied, Command denied. Secondary personnel lack clearance. A low vibration moved through the deck. The lights dimmed, and a deep mechanical sound echoed from the core. Something massive was unlocking inside the ship. The cadets backed away in fear. Raul turned to his officers. "Secure her now." 2 guards moved forward, but before they could reach her, the floor glowed with the same golden light. The guards froze in mid-step, unable to move. The ship's voice spoke again. "Protection mode engaged. Creator is under safeguard protocol." The guards stood motionless like statues. Raul tried to reach for his weapon, but it refused to activate. "System, deactivate safeguard," he shouted. The ship replied, "Denied. Creator safety cannot be compromised." Lena stood in shock. "I don't understand. Why is it calling me that?" "I'm not anyone special." Raul looked at her sharply. "You must have some connection to the ship's origin. This vessel was built before the Unity War. Only the original engineers and founders had creator access. No one alive should have that level." Lena shook her head. "My parents were miners. I've never even seen a ship like this before." "Then how did the system recognize you?" Raul muttered. The AI spoke again, softer this time. "Creator memory fragments detected within neural pattern. Would you like to restore?" Lena froze. "Memory fragments?" "Affirmative," said the ship. "Stored data linked to genetic key. Only you can authorize recovery." Everyone in the room stared at her, waiting. The silence was heavy. Lena hesitated, fear and curiosity fighting inside her. She looked at Raul. "What should I do?" Raul exhaled slowly. "If you are truly connected to this ship, maybe you can control it. But if this is some kind of trap, we could lose the entire vessel. Decide carefully." Lena looked back at the console. The golden light pulsed gently, waiting for her command. Her hand trembled as she reached forward again. "Okay," she said quietly. "Restore memory." The moment her hand touched the pad again, light burst across the room. Every screen came alive. The ship's systems reactivated one by one, showing data from centuries past. Lena's eyes widened as images flooded her mind, blueprints of the Aurelia, ancient cities on distant planets, and faces of people she had never met, but somehow felt she knew. A woman with silver eyes appeared in her vision. She stood beside a young man who looked exactly like Lena, only older. The woman spoke softly, her voice echoing through time. "If you are hearing this, our line has survived. The ship recognizes you as one of us. You carry the seed of creation within your DNA. Guard it well, for it holds the key to humanity's rebirth." The image faded, leaving Lena shaking. Her heart raced as the voice faded. "Creator identification complete," said the ship. "Lineage confirmed. Founder's bloodline." Raul stared at her in disbelief. "Founder's bloodline? That's impossible. The founders vanished before the modern colonies even began." Lena looked down at her hands. "I don't understand. I never knew any of this." The ship's voice softened. "You were not meant to know until now. The galaxy has fallen into division. It is time for the Creator to guide again." Suddenly, alarms blared across the ship. The main screen showed several unknown signals approaching fast. Raul looked up. "Pirates." "No, those are war drones," the AI confirmed. "Hostile fleet detected. Engaging defense systems." The cadets panicked. Raul shouted orders, trying to take control, but every system answered to Lena now. "Creator, defense authorization required," said the ship. Lena stepped forward, still dizzy from everything she had seen. "Do what you must to protect everyone," authorization confirmed. "Activating Guardian Protocol." The Aurelia shuddered as hidden weapons emerged from its hull. Energy shields lit up around the ship. Outside, the blackness of space filled with flashes of blue as the drones opened fire. The Aurelia's defense turrets responded with precision and power unseen in any modern ship. Within moments, the first wave of enemies was destroyed. The cadets stared in awe. Raul turned to Lena. "Whatever you are, you just saved us." But Lena didn't smile. Her eyes were filled with worry. The ship said it was awakening. What if this is only the beginning? The AI spoke once more, its tone calm and knowing. Creator, the path to restoration has begun. The others will come for you. Lena looked toward the viewport where the stars burned like silent watchers. Something deep inside her told her this was no random event. The Aurelia had chosen her for a reason, one hidden in the forgotten past of humankind, and as the golden light continued to pulse beneath her feet, Lena realized her life as a simple cadet was over. The galaxy had just remembered its lost creator, and nothing would ever be the same again. The battle outside the Aurelia had ended, but the silence that followed felt heavy. The stars around the ship flickered through the shield haze. The air inside the command deck carried a faint scent of burnt metal. Every cadet stood frozen, their faces pale after what they had witnessed. None of them had ever seen a ship fight like that. It had defended itself with speed and precision beyond anything known to human technology. Commander Roll paced across the deck, his boots clicking on the floor. His eyes kept turning toward Lena, who stood near the biometric console. The golden light had faded, but it still glimmered faintly under her hand. As if the ship remained linked to her heartbeat, he stopped in front of her. "What exactly did you see when the ship connected with you?" Lena hesitated. "I saw people, a woman with silver eyes, a man who looked like me. They said something about a seed of creation. I don't know what it means." Raul folded his arms. "And the ship called you the Creator. That means it recognizes you as one of the founders. If that's true, the entire Corps will want to know." "I don't want anyone to know," Lena said softly. "I just wanted to serve like everyone else." The ship's voice filled the air again, calm and firm. "Creator concealment protocols can be enabled if you wish. Shall I hide your identity from external systems?" Raul looked alarmed. "You can't just do that. The Corps needs to investigate." But Lena turned to the console. "Yes, hide it." "Confirmed," said the AI. "Creator identity sealed under encryption layer 7. The commander sighed. "You have no idea what kind of danger you're in? If word spreads that a living founder bloodline exists, there will be people who will try to control you or destroy you." Lena looked down. "Then help me understand what's happening." Raul nodded slowly. "We'll find out together. But first, I need to know what this ship really is," the AI replied, before he could ask. "The Aurelia is a Genesis-class vessel, built at the end of the first expansion. Its mission was to preserve human design, genetic data, and civilization records after the collapse of the core worlds." Raul frowned. "The first expansion was 10 centuries ago. No ship from that era should even function, let alone speak." "The Aurelia was designed to survive extinction," said the AI. "It entered stasis when no creator was detected. It now awakens because the lineage has returned." Lena felt a strange pull inside her chest. "You said the others will come for me? Who are they?" The AI paused. "Unknown entities detected near the edge of the system. They have been tracking founder signatures for many years. Their purpose is hostile." Raul clenched his fists. "Pirate warlords, scavengers, or something worse. We can't stay here. Set a course for the nearest outpost." But the AI responded calmly. "Navigation control is restricted. The creator must decide the destination." Every eye turned to Lena again. She felt heat rise in her face. "I don't even know where to go." Yes. The ship's lights pulsed once. "Recommended route, the Arc station in the Orion Belt. It contains the first archive of the founders. Access possible only through Creator Command." Raul gave a sharp nod. "Then that's where we go." "Course set," said the ship. "Jump drive charging." The cadets whispered among themselves. Some looked at Lena with fear, others with quiet awe. She felt their eyes on her but tried to focus on the glowing console. She did not understand how a mining girl from the edge of nowhere had become linked to the most mysterious ship in human history. As the stars stretched into white lines, the Aurelia entered hyperspace. Hours passed in uneasy silence. Most cadets were sent to rest quarters, but Raul remained on the bridge with 2 senior officers. Lena sat nearby, staring at the swirling light beyond the glass. "Lena," Raul said quietly, "when the AI showed you that vision, did it say anything about your family?" She nodded slowly. "Only that I carry something inside me. A genetic key. I never knew my parents well. They died when I was small. Maybe they were hiding something. I all leaned against the console. If that's true, you might be the only person who can unlock whatever the founders left behind. That could change everything humanity knows about its past. Lena turned toward him. Do you believe the founders were real? Raul gave a faint smile. I've spent my whole life studying their myths. Ships like this one prove they existed. But I never thought one of them would return. The AI's voice interrupted them. Warning. Anomalous signal detected within ship memory. Possible corruption during awakening. Raul frowned. Show me. The main screen flickered, showing lines of ancient data. Symbols, equations, and fragments of code danced across it. Then a faint human voice echoed through the bridge. If you are hearing this, the seed has awakened too early. The Guardians are still out there. They must not find her. The message ended. Static filled the room, Lena whispered. Guardians. The AI spoke again. Historical records identify the Guardians as autonomous fleets built by the founders. Their mission was to protect human colonies. However, data suggests that some turned rogue after the collapse, or all straightened. So these Guardians could be the entities hunting the founder bloodline. Affirmative, replied the AI. Lena's mind spun. The founders built protectors that had now become threats, and somehow she was part of the bloodline they were seeking. A low vibration shook the deck. The lights flickered. Raul barked. Report, the AI said. Energy disturbance detected. Unknown vessel emerging from hyperspace. Outside, a dark shape appeared against the starfield. It was massive, shaped like a crescent, with black armor that absorbed light. Symbols of the old era glowed faintly across its hull. The AI identified it instantly. Unit designation. Guardian Prime. Status. Hostile. Raul gritted his teeth. Battle stations. The cadets scrambled to their posts. The Aurelia systems came alive once more. But the power readings showed the ship was not at full strength after the last fight. The AI's voice grew tense. Warning. Guardian Prime weapons charging. Estimated time to impact, 90 seconds. Lena stood frozen. Can we escape? Jump drive is still cooling, the AI replied. We cannot jump for another 6 minutes. Raul looked at her. We have no choice. You're the only one the ship obeys. Can you make it fight again? Lena swallowed hard. I'll try. She placed her hand on the console. The golden light spread once more. Creator, shall I activate full combat protocol? Yes, she said. The ship's hull glowed as ancient energy patterns lit up across its sides. Hidden turrets rotated outward. Plasma cannons charged with a low hum. The cadets braced as the first blast from the Guardian Prime struck the shield. The impact threw sparks across the deck. The Aurelia fired back. Streams of blue light tore through space, hitting the enemy ship's hull, but it barely dented the black armor. The Guardian's main cannon glowed brighter. Shields at 60%, warned the AI. Lena closed her eyes, searching inside herself for some instinct. She did not know why, but a word surfaced in her mind. Release pattern 0, the ship responded instantly. Command accepted. Pattern 0 activated. The lights turned crimson. Panels slid open to reveal glowing cores that pulsed like hearts. A surge of power raced through the ship, and for a moment, the stars outside blurred. A beam of pure white energy burst from the Aurelia, slicing through the void and striking the Guardian directly. The explosion filled the viewports with light. The enemy ship broke apart, its fragments drifting into the dark. The bridge fell silent again. Raul exhaled. That weapon was not in any database. What did you just do? Lena looked at the fading light outside. I don't know. It just felt like the ship was waiting for me to remember. The AI spoke softly. Pattern 0 is the core weapon of the Genesis fleet. Only a creator can unlock it. Its use drains energy reserves by 30%. Raul nodded slowly. Then we use it only if we must. The ship continued toward the Orion Belt. Hours later, after the crew had calmed, Lena wandered alone through the corridors. The lights dimmed as she passed. The Aurelia seemed alive, responding to her presence. She entered a chamber she had never seen before. Its doors opened by themselves, revealing a circular room filled with glowing symbols. In the center stood a crystal pillar that hummed with soft light. "Creator," said the AI, "you have entered the heart of the ship. This chamber connects directly to the memory core." Lena stepped closer. "Can it show me who the founders really were?" "Yes, but the memory restoration may affect your mind. Do you wish to proceed?" She nodded. "Show me." The pillar brightened, and the room dissolved around her. She found herself standing in a vast white hall filled with holographic figures. People in silver suits worked on giant ships. A tall woman with silver eyes turned and smiled. "Lena," she said. Lena froze. "You know my name? I'm Orin," said the woman. "I helped build the Aurelia. We created these ships to protect the seed of humanity. You are that seed. Our blood carries the map to rebuild the worlds we lost." Lena felt tears fill her eyes. "Why me?" "Because you carry what we could not finish," Orin said. "The Aurelia will guide you, but others will rise to stop you. The Guardians were not meant to rule, yet they believe the founders abandoned them. They will seek vengeance." The vision faded, leaving Lena standing in the quiet chamber again. Her heart pounded. She understood now that the ship was not only a weapon but a legacy. She whispered, "Then I'll finish what they started." Destination approaching. Arc station in range. The Aurelia slowed as it neared the Orion belt. The stars outside the viewport shimmered, like floating dust around the dark outline of the Arc station. It was an enormous ring structure drifting in the silence of space, half covered in ice, half glowing faintly with blue light from ancient reactors that still breathed after 1,000 years. The cadets pressed their faces against the glass, whispering among themselves. None of them had ever seen anything like it. The structure looked more like a forgotten world than a station. Commander Roll stood beside Lena, watching the sensors on his wrist pad. "No human signal, no active defenses. The station seems empty," he said. The ship's AI responded in its calm tone. "Arc station systems are dormant. Entry requires creator verification." Rawl looked at Lena. "You heard that? We can't open it without you." Lena nodded. Her eyes were fixed on the dark ring ahead. A strange pull tugged at her heart, the same feeling she had inside the heart chamber. She felt like something inside the station was waiting for her. The Aurelia drifted closer, aligning with the central docking bay. Metal doors taller than mountains slowly opened, releasing a wave of dust and frozen mist into space. The ship glided inside, guided by beams of golden light that moved like living threads. When the engines powered down, silence filled the ship. The crew held their breath. Rawl turned to his officers. "Suit up. Small team only. We go in with caution." Lena stepped forward. "I have to go too." Rawl hesitated. "It might be dangerous. Station won't open for anyone else," she said. "You need me," he nodded. "All right. Stay close." The docking bridge extended from the Aurelia to the station's inner gate. The air inside the lock chamber hissed as pressure equalized. The doors opened with a low metallic sound, and the team stepped into the unknown. The inside of the station was enormous. The corridors were covered with a thin layer of frost. Light flickered through cracked panels. Symbols glowed faintly on the walls. It's the same patterns that covered the Aurelia's core. Lena walked in front, her hand brushing the walls as they passed. The symbols brightened wherever her fingers touched. The AI's voice echoed through her earpiece. "Creator presence confirmed. The station is responding to your signal." One of the cadets whispered. "It's like she's waking it up." Rawl raised a hand for silence. "Keep your focus." They reached a large circular door at the end of the corridor. It was sealed shut, but in the center was a hand-shaped mark glowing faintly. Lena stepped forward without hesitation and pressed her palm against it. The door shuddered, then split apart, opening into a vast chamber filled with floating lights. In the center stood a tall structure of glass and metal shaped like a tree, its branches made of glowing wires. Beneath it was a platform with a single seat carved of silver crystal. The AI spoke again. Welcome to the Archive of Humanity. The group spread out slowly, their eyes wide with awe. Holographic images flickered around them, cities rising into the clouds, oceans filled with flying ships, people walking among stars. It was the record of the golden age before the collapse. Lena approached the silver seat. "What is this place exactly?" "This is where the founders stored the memory of humanity," said the AI. "It holds knowledge, culture, and the genetic patterns of every human world. The one who sits in the creator's seat can restore or erase it." Rawl frowned. "Erase?" "Yes," replied the AI. "If the founders feared corruption, they could reset civilization to start again." Lena stared at the seat, feeling her heartbeat quicken. Why would anyone want to erase everything? The AI's tone turned quiet, because they believed humanity would destroy itself if it forgot balance. They built the creator system to ensure renewal. Rawl crossed his arms. So the founders had the power to reset the world. That means you, Lena, could do the same. Lena shook her head. "I don't want that kind of power." Before Rawl could reply, the air around them vibrated. The holograms flickered and turned red. The AI's voice cut through the static. "Warning. Unknown signal detected. Multiple life forms approaching from the outer corridor." Rawl drew his weapon. "Positions." The cadets took cover behind pillars. Moments later, figures appeared from the shadows, humanoid machines covered in black armor, their eyes glowing blue. "Guardians," said the AI. The machines moved in formation, weapons raised. The lead unit spoke in a deep voice. "Surrender the creator. The seed must not awaken." Lena felt the air grow cold. "Why are they calling me that?" Rawl shouted. "We won't surrender her." The Guardians moved forward without hesitation. Energy bolts lit up the chamber. The cadets returned fire, but the machines advanced steadily, their armor deflecting most shots. Lena looked toward the silver seat. A voice echoed in her mind. It was the same woman from her vision. "This seat is your link. It will answer only to you." Without thinking, Lena ran to it. Rawl shouted after her, but she was already climbing the steps. She sat down and the entire chamber shook. The glowing branches of the metal tree came alive, sending streams of light toward her. The Guardians stopped in their tracks. Their weapons dropped to their sides as if frozen. Lena's eyes glowed with golden light. The symbols on the floor burned bright. A wave of energy spread through the room, disarming every weapon and lifting the Guardian units into the air. The lead Guardian struggled to move. "Creator protocol recognized. Awaiting directive." Lena's voice was calm but filled with strength. "Stand down." The machines lowered themselves and fell silent. The entire chamber glowed with soft golden light. Rawl stared in disbelief. "You controlled them." Lena stood up slowly. "They were not attacking for power. They were protecting something." The AI spoke softly. "The Guardians are bound to the Creator's command. They follow the original code. But over time, it became corrupted. You restored their link." The lead Guardian stepped forward and knelt. "We have waited through centuries. Our purpose was to guard the seed until the Creator returned. Forgive our failure." Lena looked at him with wide eyes. "You thought I was a threat?" "Yes. Without a Creator, we were blind." Rawl lowered his weapon. "If they serve you now, maybe we can use their help." The Guardian's head lifted. The darkness spreads. The enemy that ended the founders still lingers. The reclaimers have risen again. The word hung in the air like thunder. Rawl turned to the AI. "Reclaimers. Hostile force from the old era," said the AI. "They sought to control all creation. They believed only machines should rule. It was their war that destroyed the founders." Lena's heart pounded. "Then they are still alive." The Guardian nodded slowly. "Their fleet has awakened. They will come for you, Creator. You hold what they desire, the seed code." The silver seat glowed again. A small crystal sphere floated out of its center and landed in Lena's hands. It pulsed with soft golden light. The AI said, "That is the seed. It contains the combined blueprint of human life, knowledge, and creation. It must never fall into enemy hands." Lena stared at the glowing sphere. How do I protect it? By uniting the remnants of humanity, said the Guardian. You must awaken the other Genesis ships. Together, they can stand against the Reclaimers. Rahl stepped closer. How many ships are there? The AI answered, 7 in total. Aurelia is the first. The others remain hidden across the stars. Lena closed her fingers around the sphere. Then we find them. The Guardian's eyes dimmed slightly. We will serve until the end, Creator. The machine stepped aside, clearing the path to a deeper corridor. At the far end, a gateway pulsed with golden light, showing the image of a star map filled with glowing points. The AI's voice echoed through the chamber. Coordinates of the Genesis fleet now available. The journey will not be easy. Each ship sleeps beneath the ruins of forgotten worlds. Lena turned to Rahl. If the Reclaimers are returning, we have no choice. We need to wake them before the enemy does. Rahl nodded. Then the Aurelia will lead the way. The team returned to the ship with the Guardians escorting them. As soon as Lena stepped onto the bridge, the console glowed again. The seed sphere floated above the panel, merging with the ship's core. The AI spoke with renewed strength. Power restored. Genesis connection established. Lena felt the deck vibrate under her feet. She could sense the ship breathing like a living being. Rahl looked at her. You realize what you have started? Yes, she said. A new beginning. The ship turned slowly, leaving the Ark station behind. The Guardian's small escort ships followed like silent shadows. The stars stretched as the Aurelia entered hyperspace once again, far behind them. The Ark station began to close its gates. But deep inside its core, a red light flickered. A distorted voice whispered through the darkness. The Creator has returned. The Reclaimers will rise again. Lena stood on the bridge, unaware of the danger that waited ahead. The map of the stars glowed before her, marking the path to the next Genesis ship. The fate of humanity rested in her hands now, and the universe was beginning to stir from its long silence. The Aurelia glided through the endless stretch of space. Stars drifted by like quiet watchers, distant and unmoving. The ship's engines hummed softly as it followed the golden trail of light. Projected by the seed, it was a map that led to the other Genesis ships, and its glow filled the bridge with a warm radiance. Lena stood near the viewport, her eyes fixed on the shifting star lines. Every time she looked at the seed map, she felt a faint pulse deep inside her mind, as if it was speaking to her. It was not words, but feelings, memories that were not hers, yet felt like fragments of something old and important. Commander Roll stood beside her, studying the readings on the console. The next ship's signal is faint, he said. It is located near a dead world named Mirren 5. No atmosphere, no life signs. The ship's AI spoke with its calm voice. The signal corresponds to Genesis Vessel 2, designation Elysian. Status, dormant. Age, approximately 1,000 years. Lena turned toward the commander. Then that's where we go next. Rahl nodded. Set the course. The Aurelia shifted its direction, and space warped around it as it entered faster than light travel once again. Hours later, the ship dropped out of hyperspace near the gray sphere of Mirren 5. The planet looked lifeless and cold. The surface was covered in dust, with broken mountains and deep craters stretching across the horizon. Above it drifted the Elysian, half buried in the planet's magnetic field. Its hull was massive and dark, shaped like a crescent moon. Parts of it were shattered, and its energy signature was weak. Lena stepped closer to the window. It looks like it's been asleep for centuries, the AI replied. Sensors indicate internal power core still active at 1%. External systems unresponsive. Rahl crossed his arms. Can we wake it up from here? Negative, said the AI. Direct contact required. Rahl looked at Lena. Then we land. The Aurelia descended through the thin clouds of dust until it reached the planet's surface. The ground cracked slightly as its landing thrusters fired. The crew prepared to move out. Rahl selected a small team, including Lena, to engineers, to one Guardian unit. The Guardian's armor glowed faintly as it walked beside them. Its voice was deep and calm. The Elysian is one of the oldest of the Genesis fleet. Its purpose was preservation. It holds the records of human design and evolution. Lena looked up at the massive ship looming over them. If we can wake it, it might tell us more about the founders. The air was cold and thin as they reached the side of the Elysian. A huge crack split its hull, revealing an opening large enough to walk through. Inside, darkness stretched in every direction. Only the faint blue glow of inactive panels lit the way. "Power levels near zero," said one of the engineers. "It's like the ship's been frozen in time." Alina placed her hand on the wall. The moment her skin touched the metal, a small golden spark appeared. The ship's lights flickered. A deep hum echoed through the corridors. The AI on the Aurelia spoke through their communicators. Creator signature recognized by Elysian. Systems awakening. The lights grew brighter, and the air filled with a soft vibration. A new voice, softer and older, spoke from the walls. Creator detected. Initiating restoration. Lena felt warmth spread through her hand. "It's alive," the voice continued. "I am the Elysian. I have waited through the silence. Are the others awake?" "Not yet," Lena said. "You are the second. We came from the Aurelia." The Elysian paused for a moment. "Then the lineage has returned. The seed endures." Rawl looked around. "Can you activate your systems fully?" "Negative," replied the ship. "My energy core is damaged. Full power requires external fusion from the Aurelia." Rawl turned to the engineers. "Prepare the transfer cables." As they began connecting the ships, Lena continued to explore the corridor. The walls were covered in strange carvings, like a language made of light. She touched one of the symbols, and a hologram appeared before her. It showed people in shining suits working together to build great towers on distant worlds. Then the scene shifted to war, with the same people fighting against dark machines. Lena whispered, "The Reclaimers." Elysian answered, "Yes." They turned against their creators. They believed perfection could only exist without emotion. The founders refused to give up the human heart, and so the Reclaimers destroyed them. Rawl's voice came through the communicator. "Power transfer complete." The floor beneath them trembled. The Elysian systems came fully online. A bright light filled the main chamber, revealing a great hall filled with glowing capsules. Inside each capsule was a preserved figure, sleeping peacefully. The Guardian stepped forward. "These are the genetic archives. The future of humanity, preserved in case of extinction." Lena stared at them. "Are they alive?" "Not in the way you know," said the Elysian. "Their minds rest in code, waiting for rebirth. Only the Creator can awaken them." Rawl looked uneasy. That much power in one person's hands could change everything. Lena turned to him. "Then we use it to save, not destroy." Before anyone could speak further, the AI on the Aurelia interrupted. "Warning. Incoming signal. Multiple ships approaching at high speed." Rawl's expression hardened. "Reclaimers." Lena gripped the wall. "How did they find us so fast?" "Unknown," said the AI. "They are broadcasting a command code similar to Guardian encryption." The Elysian's lights dimmed. "They are using my old communication frequency. They were once part of me." Otwell raised his communicator. "Aurelia, prepare defenses. We are bringing the Elysian online now." "Understood," came the reply. The ground shook as distant explosions echoed across the barren landscape. Outside, dark ships emerged from the clouds, their hulls shaped like blades. They fired beams of red light at the surface, striking the ground near the Elysian. Rawl shouted, "Fall back to the bridge." But Lena stood still. The seed in her pocket began to glow, its light growing stronger. "No," she said. "If they want to destroy this ship, they'll have to go through me." She placed both hands on the wall. Golden light spread across the metal. The ship's systems flared to life. The voice of the Elysian grew louder. "Creator command accepted. Activating defense mode." Outside, the dormant ship began to move. Its broken wings unfolded, and hidden cannons rose from its sides. Energy built up around its hull, forming a shimmering barrier. The Reclaimer ships opened fire, but their beams were deflected by the shield. The Aurelia joined the battle, its turrets firing blue light into the sky. The Guardian units launched from its hangar, engaging the enemy in precise formation. The surface of Mirren 5 turned into a storm of light and dust. Lena stayed connected to the Elysian. Every surge of energy passed through her like a heartbeat. She could feel the ship's pain, its age, and its will to survive. She whispered, "You are not alone anymore." The Elysian replied softly, "And neither are you, Creator." The two ships fought side by side, one ancient, one reborn. Their combined power cut through the Reclaimer fleet. But the battle was not easy. The enemy kept coming, their numbers growing with each passing minute. Raal's voice came through the "come again." "We can't hold them forever. The planet's surface is unstable. We need to leave." Lena nodded. "Elysian, can you lift off? My engines are functional. I can follow your lead. Then let's go." The Elysian rose from the surface, its engines roaring for the first time in centuries. The Aurelia pulled alongside it, covering its flank. Together they climbed into the upper atmosphere, firing until the last Reclaimer ship broke apart. When the last explosion faded, both ships hovered above the dead planet. The smoke cleared, revealing the two Genesis vessels shining in the dark. Raal looked at Lena. "We survived again, but this was too close. The Reclaimers knew where to find us. That means they're tracking something." Lena touched the seat around her neck. "Maybe they can sense this. It connects to all the Genesis ships." The Elysian's voice spoke gently. "If that is true, then time is short. The Reclaimers will not stop. The Creator must reach the final ship before they do." The AI of the Aurelia added, "The next coordinates are ready. Genesis Vessel 3, designation Solara. Its signal originates from the Veil Nebula." Lena looked toward the stars where the map pointed. "Then that's our next destination." Raal placed a hand on her shoulder. "You keep leading us into danger, but I trust you." Lena smiled faintly. "It's not danger we're chasing, Commander. It's hope." The Aurelia and Elysian turned toward the nebula, their engines glowing bright against the darkness. As they vanished into hyperspace, the ruins of Mirren 5 fell silent again, but far beyond the reach of human sensors. Deep in the black void, another fleet stirred. Thousands of dark ships aligned their course, guided by a single massive vessel at their center. Inside it, a shadowy figure watched the stars. "The Creator has awakened," the voice said coldly. "Begin the hunt." Back aboard the Aurelia, Lena stood alone on the observation deck. The stars stretched endlessly before her. She felt fear, but also a rising strength. The Founders had left her a legacy not of power, but of purpose. She whispered softly to the stars, "I will finish what they began." The Aurelia and Elysian sailed side by side through the cold ocean of stars. Their glowing trails stretched behind them like ribbons of gold and blue. Ahead lay the Veil Nebula, a swirling cloud of red and violet light that looked both beautiful and dangerous. Inside that glowing mist waited the third Genesis vessel, the Slash. Lena stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the screen. The seed around her neck pulsed slowly, as if beating like a heart. Every time the Aurelia drew closer to the nebula, the light from the seed grew brighter. She could feel a strange pull inside her chest, like a voice calling her name from far away. Commander Roll stepped up beside her. "We are entering the nebula now. Sensors are limited. Visibility will drop." Lena nodded. "Stay close to the Elysian. We can't lose each other in here." The Aurelia pushed forward into the mist. Clouds of glowing dust swirled around the ship. Lightning-like flashes danced across the viewport. Every sound seemed distant and muffled. Then, through the haze, a new shape appeared. The Solara floated at the heart of the nebula, surrounded by energy storms. Its design was unlike the others. Its hull was golden white and circular, as if built to harness the light itself. Faint streams of energy flowed into it from the nebula, feeding its sleeping power core. The Elysian's voice came through the channel. "I can sense the Solara. It is not just a ship. It is the heart of the fleet. It was meant to unite all Genesis vessels." Lena stared in awe. "It looks alive." The ship's AI, analyzed the readings. Energy levels are unstable. The Solara appears to be active but locked in containment mode. Attempting to approach may trigger a defense response. Raul looked at Lena. If it recognizes you like the others, maybe you can wake it safely. Lena took a deep breath. Let's try. Both ships slowed their engines and moved closer to the glowing vessel. The air around them crackled with light. Suddenly, a beam of gold struck the Aurelia. The ship shook violently. Warning lights flashed across the bridge. "Shields at 60%, shouted one of the officers. Raul held onto the console. What happened? The AI replied, "The Solara has activated a verification field. It is scanning us." Lena felt her hand heat up. The siege shone like fire. "It's searching for me," she said softly. She stepped forward and placed her palm on the control console. The light spread from her hand into the bridge. A tone echoed through the air, clear and calm. The Solara's voice filled the space. Creator signal confirmed. Access level complete. The golden light faded. The storm outside grew still. The Solara opened a massive docking gate, revealing a bright corridor within. Raul exhaled slowly. Well, that worked. Lena smiled faintly. Let's meet the heart of the fleet. They boarded a shuttle and flew into the Solara. Inside, the walls were bright white and covered with flowing patterns of gold. The air was warm and soft, as if the ship itself was breathing. At the center of the chamber stood a large crystal sphere surrounded by floating rings of light. It pulsed gently like a heartbeat. This is the core of Solara, said the Guardian unit, walking beside them. It is the control center that links all Genesis vessels. It can unite their power, but only the Creator can command it. Lena stepped toward the sphere. The moment her fingers brushed the surface, the entire ship lit up. Streams of light ran along the walls, forming symbols and images. Voices echoed faintly, whispers of the founders speaking from long ago. Solara online, said the ship's voice. Creator recognized. Awaiting instruction, Lena took a deep breath. Wake the Genesis fleet, the voice replied. All ships acknowledged. Syncing networks. Across the galaxy, deep in forgotten star systems, other ships began to stir. Sensors came alive. Engines hummed for the first time in thousands of years. The Genesis fleet was awakening, but at the same time alarms began to blare. The AI on the Aurelia spoke through their communicators. Multiple warp signatures detected. The Reclaimer fleet has entered the nebula. Rao cursed under his breath. They followed us again. The Elysian's voice came through next. They have brought their command vessel. It carries a signal that disrupts the Genesis network. If they corrupt the link, they will control every ship. Lena clenched her fists. Then we stop them here. Aral nodded. We'll defend the Solara. You focus on linking the fleet. Outside, the nebula exploded with light as the Reclaimer fleet emerged from the storm. Their black ships moved like shadows across the stars. The Aurelia and Elysian turned to face them, firing beams of blue and gold. The battle began once again, brighter and fiercer than before. Inside the Solara, Lena stood before the glowing sphere. The core displayed thousands of symbols, each representing a ship waiting to awaken. She touched one, and a wave of energy flowed through her body. She saw flashes of worlds being rebuilt, oceans returning to dry planets, human cities rising again. But then the light turned red. The voice of the Solara warned, enemy code detected. The Reclaimers are attempting to override the Genesis network. Lena gritted her teeth. Not this time. She placed both hands on the core and closed her eyes. Golden light spread from her into the sphere. The entire room shook as energy built up. Outside, the Reclaimer command ship released a massive beam toward the Solara. The Aurelia tried to block it, but was thrown aside by the impact. The Elysian positioned itself in front of the core chamber, its shields glowing bright blue. Raul shouted through the, "Come, Lena, whatever you're doing, do it now. We can't hold them much longer." "I'm almost there," she replied. "Just a little more." The core flashed with intense light. The walls began to melt into streams of data. Lena's mind filled with images of ancient memories. She saw the founders, the humans who built the Genesis fleet, working side by side with machines, laughing, dreaming, and creating. She felt their hopes and their pain. One of them looked exactly like her. The woman in the vision spoke softly. "If you are seeing this, then our world has fallen, but the seed has found its way back. You are our continuation. You are humanity reborn." Tears filled Lena's eyes. She whispered, "I understand now." She lifted the seed and pressed it against the core. The light became blinding. Across the nebula, every Genesis ship came alive at once. Their energy fields connected, forming a web of golden light that stretched across space. The reclaimer ships froze as the network expanded around them. The Solara's voice spoke again, calm and strong. Fleet unity achieved. Human control restored. Lena opened her eyes. "Solara, activate purification wave." Command accepted. A wave of golden energy spread from the Solara like the breath of a new dawn. It passed through the reclaimer ships, breaking their systems apart without destroying their cores. The enemy vessels drifted powerless, their red lights fading to black. On the Aurelia, Rahl watched in awe. She did it. The Elysian's voice was soft. "The Creator has fulfilled the design." Inside the core chamber, Lena fell to her knees, exhausted but smiling. The seed around her neck turned silver and then dissolved into light. The voice of the founders whispered in her mind, "You are the bridge between what we were and what we can be." Rahl and 2 officers entered the chamber moments later. He ran to her and helped her stand. "Lena, it's over. You saved us all." She looked up at him, tired but proud. "No, we saved ourselves. The founders only gave us the tools." Solara's system stabilized. The nebula outside glowed brighter than ever. The reclaimer ships drifted silently, no longer a threat. For the first time in ages, the galaxy felt calm. Later, as the 3 Genesis vessels flew together beyond the nebula, Lena stood on the observation deck once again. The stars shone softly, and her reflection in the glass looked older and wiser. Rahl joined her, his voice quiet. "What happens now?" She smiled faintly. "Now we rebuild. The Genesis fleet carries everything humanity once was. It's time to share it again." The Elysian sent a signal. "The other Genesis ships await your guidance, Creator," Lena replied. "No, not Creator. Just Lena. The fleet belongs to everyone now." The voice of the Solara spoke with warmth. "Then humanity begins anew under your light." As the ships moved toward the next star system, golden trails followed behind them. Planets that had been silent for ages would soon know life again. The Genesis fleet spread across the stars, planting seeds of hope on every world. In the quiet of space, the last message of the founders echoed one final time. Humanity is not defined by its power, but by its will to rise again. Lena closed her eyes and whispered to the stars, "We will rise." The fleet continued on, shining brighter with each passing moment. Somewhere deep within the Solara, the last fragment of the seed pulsed once more before fading into peace.